Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's video lecture, and we're covering anatomy of the reproductive system. And first video will be about male reproductive system. So let's go ahead and begin. So I'm gonna get my pen. Where is it? Right there. Okay, so reproductive system is made of primary sex organs, and primary sex organ includes gonads. Now, gonads are actually glands. Gonads are testes and ovaries. So testes are gonads, ovaries are gonads, and they produce gametes. Gametes are sex cells. Sperm, male gamete, and ova are female gametes. Plus, testes and ovaries secrete sex hormones. Males secrete androgens, and female gonads secrete estrogen and progesterone. In addition, reproductive system include accessory reproductive organs. So primary reproductive organs, ones that make sex cells and secrete sex hormones. And accessory organs, pretty much ducts that deliver sperm to the penis and during ejection to female reproductive organs like vagina. So that's male reproductive ducts. Females accessory organs include ducts as well. For example, fallopian tubes, right? And even vagina considered to be a duct. Glands and external genitalia. Right, so what this slide tells us that reproductive system is made of primary and accessory reproductive organs. So on this diagram over here, you can compare male and female reproductive system. Let's just do it very quickly. So by definition, male reproductive system produces male gametes, female gametes. Main components: scrotum, testes, spermatic ducts, sex glands, and penis for male, ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina, vulva, and vulva is external genitalia. Hormones: testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen for female reproductive system. And what's interesting that male reproductive system mostly located outside the body, and we know that testes located outside of body cavities, and female, most of the organs located inside, with exception of external genitalia. And for normal production of sperm, we need cooler environment. So temperature need to be about 3 degrees Celsius below core body temperature, and a female sex cells or ova are made in a warm environment. So that's a body temperature. Okay, on this diagram, we can look at organs of the male reproductive system. So we're going to start with testes, that are sperm producing male gonads that lie within the scrotum. So if you look at the diagram over here, those are testes, and testes are inside scrotum. So that's scrotum over here. And system of ducts, starting with epididymis, this structure on top of testes. Ductus deferens is this tube, or it's called vas deferens, and you see it enters pelvic cavity and it goes behind the urinary bladder. Now this tube over here is ductus deferens. And the last part of this tube is a little bit bigger in the diameter, and it's called ampulla of ductus deferens. Then we have ejaculatory duct. So this duct over here inside a prostate gland is ejaculatory duct. So it's right here. And of course, urethra. So this is urinary bladder. So that's the beginning of the urethra. And then urethra runs inside penis, right, all the way to the external urethral orifice, where we have opening, and this is how you release urethra and sperm and semen, I would say. Semen contains sperm through the urethra. Now, accessory glands include seminal glands. So here's one gland. We have two of them. So they located on the posterior side of the urinary bladder. So that's urinary bladder. This is anterior part, and this is posterior part. So it's this one on the posterior side. Prostate gland. This gland is prostate. It's inferior to urinary bladder, and bulbourethral glands right here on the base of the penis. This is called bulb of penis. So those are bulbourethral gland. A very quick overview of sperm formation, and more details are included in physiology part, but we actually start with stem cells or germ cells, spermatogonia. And at puberty, spermatogonia divides, right? And it divides by mitosis. That means that these cells over here, all shown in red, they all have 46 chromosomes. So it's a diploid number of chromosomes. Right, then spermatogonia gonna divide by meiosis. And when it's divided by meiosis, we reduce the ploidy. So instead of 46, we end up with 23 chromosomes. So here we have our primary spermatocytes. We have our secondary, I think this is primary spermatocytes. Yes, primary spermatocytes, secondary spermatocytes, spermatids, and then we have maturation and differentiation and maturation, and we have spermatozoa. So the point over here is that male gametes are sperm, and sperm have only half number of chromosome. They have haploid cells, and from one spermatogonia, we can form 4 spermatozoa. So we're gonna start with scrotum. So we look at overview. So over here you have overview of the reproductive organs, male reproductive organs. Very quickly about sperm formation. Now we're gonna look at scrotum. Now scrotum is a muscular sac that helps regulate temperature within testes. Now scrotum, of course, covered by skin and some subcutaneous tissue, some fascia. But within the scrotum, you have this muscle here that's called dartos muscle. And when this dartos muscle contract, it wrinkle the testes and also pull them a little bit closer to to the body, and it increased temperature within scrotum. And another muscle over here is cremaster muscle. Now, cremaster muscle also, when it contracts, it lifted testis up. So we have a wrinkle of the scrotum, and we lift testis up, and that happens when outside temperature is cold, right? So if when outside temperature is cooler, we want to bring testis close to the core of the body, where we keep them warmer. When it's warm outside, then those muscles relax, testis are depressed, so they move down, this muscle relax, and we cool down the testis. Right, that makes sense. Now, muscular sac tell us that we do have muscle within, that is dartos muscle, and testes themselves are covered by cremaster muscle. Dartos muscle also form the scrotal septum, right? So over here. Well, not the muscle, muscle doesn't form it, it's a connective tissue, form this septum. Cremaster muscle cover testes, raises or lower testes, as we already mentioned. Right. So testes are covered by several tunics. So first it says male reproductive organs, testes are gonads, about 4-5 centimeters in length, and then we have tunics covered testes. So this tunica shown over here, this is tunica vaginalis. Tunica vaginalis is serous membrane. So it's a modification of a peritoneum. Tunica vaginalis, as any serous membrane, has parietal and visceral layers. And then testes themselves are covered by tunica albuginea. Albuginea means white. So tunica albuginea is deep. Then we have, so you can look over here. Maybe this is a better picture. So this is our parietal tunica vaginalis. Deep to it, right here, we have visceral tunica vaginalis, and even deeper, we have tunica albuginea. Now, if you look inside testes, they actually made of tubules, and they divided into lobules by septa. The septa is formed by tunica albuginea. So tunica albuginea projects inside testis, forming a separation between lobules. And each lobule has a duct, right? So it's very, very convoluted duct, and it's called the seminiferous tubules, right? So those are seminiferous tubules. Then inside those tubules, we have production of sperm, but we don't call it sperm yet. We call it spermatids. So spermatids are made inside. Spermatids are made inside the seminiferous tubules. Then sperm gonna move through these straight tubules to this network of tubules that is called retitestis. From retitestis, spermatids gonna move through efferent ductule inside epididymis. So that's an epididymis. And within epididymis, sperm will mature and become motile. So it's grows this flagellum that allows sperm to swim. Right, so again, testes are covered by 3 tunics. tunica vaginalis parietal and visceral, tunica albuginea, that means white. Tunica albuginea also forms septa that separate testes into lobules. Within each lobule, we have seminiferous tubules. Inside those tubules, we have spermatogenesis, so the beginning of sperm formation. We make spermatids. They move through straight tubules to rete testes, through efferent ductules into epididymis, and then continue, right? So ductus deferens and so on. We will look at movement of sperm in details. In physiology part. Now, seminiferous tubules, sperm development, and those tubules are made of cells. You know, everything in human body and in any living organism is made of cells and extracellular stuff. Because those tubules are made of cells, here it says what type of cells we have. We have germ cells. This is the one that will differentiate into sperm, and Sertoli cells, those are supporting cells. Now this slide tells us about blood supply to the testes. So that's this is abdominal aorta. Those blood vessels here are renal arteries, and then we have two, just below renal arteries, we have testicular arteries, right and left testicular artery, and they supply testes with oxygenated blood. We also need to pick up deoxygenated blood. And so we go from testes now back to the inferior vena cava. So we're gonna start with pampiniform plexus. So this is convoluted network of venules is called pampiniform plexus. And then pampiniform plexus form a testicular vein. And what is interesting over here, look, testicular arteries, they branched out from aorta, testicular veins. The right one connects to inferior vena cava, but the left one is actually connected to the renal vein. That's interesting, right? Not exactly symmetrical when we're talking about venous supply. So testicular artery arises from abdominal aorta. Testicular veins arise from pampiniform venous plexus. So that's where they arise, because now we go up. And those plexuses, they surround each testicular artery. So it's actually, they're going to be right here. They cooler. Blood is cooler inside veins, and it's also absorb extra heat from testicular arteries to keep testes cool. Remember, for normal sperm production, we need cooler temperature. Now, actually, this is very nice picture from Pearson Education. So you can see, you know, nice structure shown over here of the scrotum. So we have skin, we have superficial fascia with the dartos muscle, we have cremaster muscle over here, we have testes, tunica vaginalis from peritoneum, so two layers of tunica vaginalis. Tunica albuginea is the covering of the testis itself. Here's superior epididymis, and it also goes down, so it's a posterior part of the testis, superior posterior. And you can see over here we have testicular artery, and here's our pampiniform venous plexus surrounding the artery. Inside we also have shown in yellow nerves. And now this artery testicular artery, oh, I'm sorry, this venous plexus and nerve fibers, they surrounded by structure called a spermatic cord. So it's shown right here. And spermatic cord also includes this muscle, cremaster muscle. And so spermatic cord then passes through the inguinal canal inside the pelvic cavity. And then you can see over here, testicular vein, testicular artery, and nerve. Nerve supply, kind of complicated nerve supply, but what we want to remember over here is that the major nerves that supply penis and testis is pudendal nerve, and it's arise from sacral plexus. So we have lumbar plexus a little bit superior. So this is the most inferior nerve plexus, sacral plexus, that gives you sacral spinal nerves, right? And pudendal nerve then divides into several branches, like dorsal nerve of penis, over here we have scrotal nerves and so on. So we want to remember that the nerve supply is pudendal nerve. And here's spermatic cord that enclose nerve fibers, blood vessels, lymphatics that supply testis. A little bit about structure of a sperm. About 100-300 million produced daily, and structure includes head, midpiece, and tail. So another name for tail is flagellum, and of course flagellum is for movement. In the midpiece, you will find a lot of mitochondria. So they just surrounding this flagellum, and you know mitochondria for ATP production. Sperm need lots of energy to move towards ovum. Acrosome over here is a special structure that releases enzyme that's gonna penetrate ovum. And inside the head, we have nucleus. Remember, we have 23 chromosomes within a nucleus of a sperm. Now, during ejaculation, the male does not eject sperm, they eject semen. Sperm makes up to 5% of the semen. Semen is a fluid that is ejaculated, and semen is produced by glands, not by testes. So over here you can see the pathway of the sperm. So sperm is conveyed from seminiferous tubules. Remember those seminiferous tubules inside the testis, then straight tubules, then rete testis, that is this network of tubules, efferent ductules, and epididymis. But that's not the end. We need to get to the urethra, right? So here's our duct system. So we already know that we have this epididymis, right? That's epididymis. Then ductus deferens, and ductus deferens is inside spermata cord. Then spermata cord, of course we have two of them, right and left, get to inguinal canal, and after inguinal canal, we don't have spermata cord anymore. Now we have arteries, veins, and this ductus deferens that continue moving superiorly. Then it goes behind the urinary bladder. That's the urinary bladder. This is the ampulla. And it has its duct over here, ejaculatory duct. Now this gland is seminal gland. Seminal gland also has a duct. So duct of seminal gland and duct of ductus deferens, they come together forming ejaculatory duct. an ejaculatory duct connects to urethra. Right, so when sperm is produced, it's moving all the way up, right? And through ejaculatory duct, it enters urethra. So from urethra, it moves outside of the body, hoping to fertilize an ovum. So this might be a little bit, well, not better, but different picture. This is posterior view. So this is urinary bladder. So here's our ductus deferens. By the way, old name for ductus deferens is vas deferens. And if you heard about vasectomy, when they cut or tie the vas deferens, and then sperm cannot enter urethra, so the guy cannot fertilize. So fertilize and make female pregnant, right? So here's our ductus deferens, come from the testes behind the urinary bladder, became this bigger part over here that is ampulla, bigger in diameter, seminal gland. See the duct of seminal gland, duct of the ductus deferens became ejaculatory duct, and that's urethra. This is a prostate gland, bulbourethral glands, and this is penis. And you know, inside the penis, you have urethra. Okay, so we continue covering the movement or transport of sperm. So I want to remind you that those are tubules inside the testis, seminiferous tubules. Then we have straight tubules. We have this ratchet testis. We have efferent ductules, and then epididymis. So you can see everything is made of tubules. So epididymis is made of tubules. Inside so here's epididymis. That's a site of sperm maturation. It's pretty long structure. If you straighten it, it will be 20 feet long, and it takes sperm 12 days to move through epididymis. They call it swim school, and this is where sperm became motile. So it grows this flagellum. And then ductus deferens or vas deferens that has a head and body and tail. And then, oh, I'm sorry, this is epididymis. I'm sorry. Epididymis has head, body, and tail. And then ductus deferens is this tube right there, right here. So again, we enter the pelvic cavity behind the urinary bladder, making ampulla of ductus deferens. This is our seminal vesicle and this ejaculatory duct, and then urethra. I think we repeated it so many times. So over here, this is the same picture, posterior view, but you can see the seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and bulbourethral gland. Seminal vesicle, they produce fluid rich in a fructose, and fructose is a sugar used by sperm mitochondria. So that's nourish the sperm, so it can get a lot of ATP, lots of energy, because you know, sperm need to still, you know, continue moving and outside of male body, inside vagina, then uterus and fallopian tube. So sperm has still long way to go, need a lot of energy. Prostate gland produces fluid that activates sperm. It says coagulates and decoagulates sperm. That pretty much means activation of the sperm. It doubles in size during puberty and it starts in large at age 25. And because inside the prostate gland, we have urethra, when gland enlarged, it can constrict this urethral opening and might cause some problems with urination. Bulbourethral glands produce fluid for lubrication. It's a thick, salty fluid and lubricates urethra and vagina, and also produce pre-ejaculate, right? That's lubricate urethra and vagina, obviously. Now, what else we can see on this diagram is the structure of penis. We will look at structure on another slide, but penis can be divided into root. Now this part is called bulb of penis. That's why we call this bulbourethral glands. This structure attaches penis to the bone called crus of penis. Then we have body or shaft and glans penis. This is the last part. Glans penis is covered by foreskin or prepuce, and we have external urethral orifice over here at the end of the urethra. Now, the penis itself is made of erectile tissue. We call them corpora. Corpora means body. So corpora is plural and corpus is singular. So we have one corpus and 2, 3 corpora. So this one that's surrounding urethra is called corpus spongiosum. And we have 2 more bodies that are corpora cavernosa. So you also can see testes, they look white because that's our tunica albuginea. We have epididymis and we have ductus deferens here. We can see on this slide how penis is attached to pelvis. Now this is inferior view, and this bone over here is pubic bone, and somewhere from this area up here is ischium. So the pelvis is made of 3 bones. Ilium, so will be on the top, ischium is this part, and pubis. The penis, if you look here, remember we said it's made of 3 bodies or corpora. This is corpus spongiosum that forms this bulb of penis. That's a corpus spongiosum. So inside you will have urethra. And these 2 bodies that surround corpus spongiosum are corpora cavernosa. Now, corpora cavernosa then splits into 2 crus of penis, and crus of penis attaches penis to the rami. So this is the ramus of ischium, and this is the ramus of pubis. So that's we have the attachment. This is perineal membrane, where you also have a bulb of the penis attached. So the penis is attached to the bones, right? Penis is organ of copulation. It's flaccid for non-sexual activities and a turgid or rod-like with sexual arousal. So it's hard when it's during sexual intercourse. It's made of 3 column-like chambers, corpus cavernosum and corpus spongiosum. And we have corpus cavernosum twice, right? 2 corpora cavernosum, here, corpora cavernosum, and corpus spongiosum. Glans penis is high concentration of nerve ending, so that the end of the penis that has opening of the urethra, and prepuce is the skin covering the glans penis. Has also lots of nerve ending. This is what we call foreskin. And if somebody has a circumcision, they remove this prepuce. So that's a picture show you how penis can be enlarged with blood. So this is our flaccid penis, and this is erected penis. So you can see here's the urethra, here's corpus spongiosum, and these two bodies over here, corpora cavernosa. Now we have this what we call dorsal, deep dorsal vein, and we have arteries, and then they, bigger arteries split into small ones, and we have cavernosal arteries. So here's we have lots of those arteries, and then blood from the arteries go to arterioles, right, and then goes to the venules and to veins. So during ejaculation, so let's see what happened over here. So cavernosal arteries dilate, right? So that's our cavernosal arteries, they dilate, engorging corporal tissue with blood. Engorging causes corporal tissue to swell, erecting the penis, right? Engorged corporal tissue compresses penile veins, compresses those veins, and venules, and penis remaining erected. So erection of penis is actually filling those arteries with blood. So it's a swelling of the penile tissue, corpora cavernosa and corpus spongiosum with blood. So we have blood that is accumulated within those arterioles. Venules are compressed, so it doesn't allow or slow down the drainage of blood, and penis stay erected. So erection during sexual intercourse, it can happen during sleep. This is what we call sexual arousal. The chemical that is vasodilator, that dilates those arteries, is nitric oxide. So we need nitric oxide in order for these arterioles to dilate. So average length of penis is about 15 centimeters, but it's include, this part that is a bulb of penis and cruise of penis. Now, you probably heard about erectile dysfunction. This is happened when your parasympathetic nerves of penis, and parasympathetic nerves are nerves that fire when you when you resting, right? We have sympathetic division and parasympathetic division. Sympathetic division is needed for ejection, but for erection, we need parasympathetic division. So you can have erection when you relaxed. So when you relaxed, your parasympathetic nerves of penis release nitric oxide. When they do not release enough nitric oxide, then blood vessels do not dilate. If they don't dilate, they are not filled with blood, and penis stay flaccid, right? That's erectile dysfunction. So possible causes: alcohol, drugs, hormones, problem with blood vessels or nerves, incompetent nerve valves that fail to retain blood in penis. So any of these can cause erectile dysfunction. And you heard about Viagra. And actually what Viagra has, it's increased the, it's mimic nitric oxide effects. So that cause your blood vessels in those bodies surrounding, bodies that make your penis, corpora quadragem, corpora cavernosa and corpus spongiosum, it caused them to those blood vessels inside those bodies dilate and fill with blood. Okay, and urethra. Now, male and female urethra are a little bit different. Obviously, because male urethra is longer, it's inside penis. Female urethra is short. So these three parts or three regions of urethra are only related to male urethra. So only male urethra, right? Not in females. Now, in males, also urethra conveys both urine and semen, but at different times. So urine and semen never mix. And male urethra has three regions: prostatic, membranous, and spongy. So if you look at the diagram here, that's a urinary bladder. And here's the first part of the urethra. And because right inferior to urinary bladder, we have prostate gland, urethra inside the prostate gland is called prostatic urethra. Makes sense, right? Now, this is muscle. This is a skeletal muscle called pelvic diaphragm. And urethra runs through this diaphragm, and it's called membranous urethra, because it's like a membrane. It's not a membrane, it's muscle, but that urethra is membranous urethra or intermediate urethra. And then what we have? Penis. Inside the penis, we have corpus spongiosum, remember over here, erectile tissue, and urethra is inside. That's why it's spongy urethra. Right, so that's three parts. And this is the glands of penis and the external urethral orifice that is opening of the spongy urethra. I think that the last slide for male reproductive anatomy of a male reproductive system, because the next slide is female reproductive system. I will record second video. So, okay, well, thank you for watching, guys, and I hope it was helpful. See you next time. Bye.